Hello, my name is Mark and welcome to I Am Organic Gardening. And today we're sitting outside in the garden and it's the end of July. I'm in Zone 7 in the state of New Jersey. And today I want to give you some great advice on something that is so delicious. And if you're having problems with them already, if you didn't start them earlier, is cucumbers. Cucumbers love the summer heat. They love moisture also too, and we're going to see what kind of mulch I use to keep them going. But I just planted these cucumbers 5 weeks ago. That's very short in a period of time in the garden. So they're 35 days old right now, and I want to show you these terrific trellising or vining cucumbers that I have. There's two types. There's a bush type and there's a vining type. I usually like to use the vining type so that I can see the cucumbers develop and they're not sitting on the ground. I also let vines grow on the ground, so I'm always debating whether do I want the cucumbers laying on the ground or should they go on a trellis. It's purely up to you. You know your climate better than I do. And also too, when you decide to use a trellis, some people will prune. It's not necessary. It's all up to you. There's pros and cons to everything, but enjoy gardening. So let's go take a look at those beautiful cucumbers behind me and I'll show you what's going on with them. Here's a beautiful view of the cucumbers I planted 5 weeks ago. And they weren't from transplant, they were directly sown into the ground. And I'll show you shortly how I sowed them in the ground. And you can see how beautifully they're doing. We've had the nice warm weather. I planted them about mid-June, and here we are about almost towards the end of July, and they're just doing fantastic. So I want you to plant these up and think you can do the same thing I'm doing and give you encouragement to all this beautiful foliage you see here. And we'll take a closer look in a little bit of all the flowers I have, and they're even setting fruit already. Some of the fruit is basically I don't want to say about an inch long already. Here's just another beautiful view. We have them growing on a cattle panel trellis, and you can see here that I have T-posts on the side, and the trellis is about, let's say, at least a little over 4 feet tall, and they're doing a fantastic job so far. And they're growing out upwards and they're growing out sideways on the ground. I do have, and let me get a better view of this, a much better view of the ground or the soil around it. You can see I'm covered with leaf mold or leaf mulch. It's doing very well. I get it for free from my township. And also too, you can use any kind of mulch you want. And I've really found over the years that these cucumbers do just as well, whether they're vining or spreading out on the ground here coming off the bottom. They will be a little bit more yellow, but the taste is still there. They're not uniform green, but they serve the same purpose in taste, flavor, and nutrients dense vegetables that we can eat. And here's a view from the back that I was standing before. And you can see how lush and wide they are and healthy they are. I do not use any fertilizer whatsoever. I just rely on that mulch to enhance the soil, which I'll go over in future videos, how I turn that mulch into great minerals, then into nutrients using the soil food web and feeding those cucumbers. And you can see that the foliage is just so nice and lush and green. And I probably easily here have at least, I'm going to say at least 50 flowers male and 50 flowers female. Another view from the back, you can see they're doing very well climbing up the trellis. I don't really want to do a taller trellis here on my farm. I just enjoy having them closer to the ground. They're a lot easier picking, and also I get lots of high winds and damage, so I really don't want them to grow too tall. I'd rather have them spread out on the ground. Let me move some leaves out of the way, and you can see that beautiful flowers that we have setting up and attracting those bees that come in. There is some non-pollinating varieties that are out there. You can look into that if you're having less bees in your garden than before. And then we have a miniature cucumber growing here already, and that will be ready in another, say, 3 to 4 weeks. So at the end of, let's say, August, we're going to be just fine collecting cucumbers here. I do weave the cucumbers in and out of the cattle panel trellis. Each block is about 6 to 7 inches wide of wire, but you can see here those beautiful tendrils are going to help me that the cucumbers provide. I'm going to go on a little bit of a side note here. If you have this weed in your garden, what we're looking at right here is a morning glory. Now, a morning glory, there's different types. Some people grow them for flowers. This is the weed morning glory. It has kind of a more of a bluish flower. Do not let these take over your garden. They are easily removed in this leaf mold that's about 4 inches deep right here. Now, what's nice about this is that you can easily pull them out because it is in leaf mold. They have a large taproot that will go down, but if you catch them early, they're great. But do not let that blue flower happen in your garden. They're beautiful to look at, and I enjoyed them last year, but I did not terminate them prior to them going to seed. And there's lots of seeds inside this morning glory pod that's on your trellis. And I'm just saying this because it's just something that I've witnessed last year, and it will overtake your garden, and you'll have these seeds for the rest of your life. And they can quickly go from that tiny little seedling coming out of the ground with 2 leaves, and this is only about 1.5 weeks to 2 weeks old. They grow very fast. It's almost like, that's why I'm trying to bring it up, they're quick growing, just like your cucumbers. Now again, those cucumbers are only 5 weeks old. I got flowers and I have fruit on them already. We have a nice cucumber setting more fruit. This is the female, and you can see here that it's got that nice little baby cucumber already growing, and hopefully it's pollinated very well. But we'll see in a couple of weeks how well it did, and we'll come back and show you how it's fruiting on the ground and see how mature and how beautiful that cucumber is. So what did I do about planting these cucumber seeds directly in the soil that was so special to show you this beautiful foliage and how healthy these plants are? Now, I planted it again in mid-June, and here we are almost towards the end of July, and everything is going quite well. Well, let me show you. So like I mentioned before, the mulch that I have on the ground is leaf mold or leaves. I pile them up in the fall, and I place them anywhere from 8 to 10 inches thick or 8 to 12 inches thick on the ground, and they slowly decay because the microbes in the soil are eating them. Soil that I have in the ground, now this is sand, silt, and clay underneath here, and I'll pull the leaf mold aside, or leaf litter or anything else too. You don't have to chop up the leaves, just add it to the top of your soil. They will get slimy, it will break apart, but the whole secret is where the leaves contact the soil, and that will give you those microbes to come back and make your soil healthy. So what I just do to plant my seeds in the ground, and this is everything I do in my backyard garden, I just move this leaf mold away from the bottom of the soil. You want to get down to your soil, your sand, silt, or clay, or what you're growing in here. And I'll give you a better close-up or so in a little bit. Well, this is quite thick here, so that's all right. So you can make a trench or whatever you want to do ahead of time. And let's get a better close-up for you. So now I remove my leaf mold down to my soil level, and I just want to, if you want to, you can take a pitchfork and just slightly press in the ground so you can get to the soil. And now I just place my seeds and I push them down in the soil like so, in about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch deep, and this let the heat of the summer and this beautiful sunlight that we have longer hours for, and those seeds will pop up within anywhere from 5 to 10 days. But you want to keep it moist. But the best thing about having leaf mold down ahead of time is that your soil is moist already. We've been having a super warm spring, or actually it was cold this spring, and then it got warm really quickly, anywhere between 95 to 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, and cooling temperatures at night were probably around 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And that moisture in here is just from the little bit of rain that we got the last couple days, but that's the key. You really want a nice, consistent, moist soil. Let those roots go down and search for it, and just have a blast looking for all those minerals and nutrients in the ground. I understand a lot of people are out there are helping you to understand growing cucumbers, and I'm not going to agree or disagree with it. A lot of people prune their cucumbers or trellis them up higher. It's all about what space you have in your garden and how tall you want it or convenience. That's it. It doesn't make the plant healthier or do anything else. It's strictly up to you how you want to enjoy your cucumbers growing in your garden. You know your space availability. I have plenty of room here, so if they trellis in a vine across the ground, that's okay with me. I'm not worried about them sitting on pure soil of sand, silt, and clay that I grow in my garden. If you use a growing medium, you will get, let's say, I don't want to discourage you, but you will get maybe 1 or 2 more problems if in a soilless mix, because it's hard to maintain that moisture or even in a raised bed. So there you have it. Enjoy planting seeds directly right now in the month of August, the beginning of August, and you'll be fine. You should have at least 60 days prior to your frost date, and you have plenty of time and you have plenty of heat. And also watch your water level and keep them. You want to give at least 1 inch of water per week to cucumbers. They will get blossom end rot and also deform fruit if you do not water them or keep a constant moisture. But the mulch of any kind that you want adding to the ground will help you achieve that. Mulching is great for the garden. I see a lot of bare gardens and videos on the internet, and also I see a lot of people that send me pictures all the time to my email address, I Am Organic Gardening, and they're not covering that soil. It's really so beneficial, and I will give you an encouragement on that. I bought a new microscope and I've been working on that, and I will show you what's living in the soil to help you get that nutrient dense food you're going to. Organic gardening is not just making compost, it's feeding the microbes in the soil so they can release nutrients to your plant and keep your plants healthy. So experience the beauty of what's going on with your nature, your soil, and it's just so rewarding. Don't think you have to make compost every year. It's not necessary. I want to thank you for watching, and please give it that thumbs up. I also appreciate you showing and sharing your advice with me, so leave comments of any type. Just to let other people know there's a lot of intelligent people out there about gardening, so share your experience with other people that are viewing this, and it's all about helping each other growing food. Thank you so much, and happy gardening.